I do want to break away from our conversation just for a moment to get back out to Pamela Brown and Ellie Honig, because we have a new decision coming down from the Supreme Court. They have rejected the multi-billion-dollar Purdue Pharma opioid settlement. Is that right? That shielded the Sackler family. That's going to be very controversial. Pamela, what can you tell us?
That's right. The Supreme Court rejected this controversial settlement, Jim, that essentially, on one hand, would have sent billions of dollars to treatment programs and victims of the nation's opioid epidemic, but also it would have shielded the Sackler family from future lawsuits. So what we're learning right now is that the Supreme Court rejected this, and this, Ellie Honig, to bring you in, is a win for the Biden administration.
It is, because the Biden administration had challenged this settlement, Pam. So just so people sort of have the context here, Purdue Pharma is the manufacturer of OxyContin. And they've been sued and had legal proceedings brought against them by the United States Justice Department. They also entered into bankruptcy. And as part of a bankruptcy agreement, Purdue Pharma agreed to give up $4-point-something billion to go to treatment. But they also got a benefit in that agreement, which is that future claims, future lawsuits against them were exterminated, were extinguished in advance. And part of the agreement that the bankruptcy court agreed to is, okay, you're going to give up all this money, but future people cannot sue you for this. And the Biden administration challenged that, and the Supreme Court has now agreed with the Biden administration. The Supreme Court has said you cannot extinguish future lawsuits. And the sort of lineup of justices is really interesting here. Completely cross-ideological both ways. The majority is Justices Gorsuch, Thomas, Alito, Barrett, and Jackson. That's a group you don't see often together. The dissenters are Justices Kavanaugh, the Chief Justice Roberts, along with Sotomayor and Kagan.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, you're never going to see this alignment again.
You don't see that. Let me just follow up, because for the viewer that might hear, but wait, it's rejecting the settlement that would have given billions of dollars to victims of the opioid epidemic and treatment programs. What about that?
Well, so first of all, it sends them essentially back to the drawing board. They're now going to have to try to come up with a different bankruptcy agreement, but the court's judgment is it's unlawful, it's unconstitutional to cut off the rights of people who might sue in the future, but just haven't sued yet. That's really the gist of the decision here.
All right, so a win for the Biden administration, as you just laid out. Ellie Honig, back to you, Jim.
All right, Pamela, Ellie, thank you very much. And Gloria, I mean, this opioid issue it's a massive issue across this country, and it's one that maybe we just don't cover enough. The damage, the
movies have been
wreckage,
made about it,
movies, and so on.
Right. Look, people want the opportunity. Big Pharma is not popular, and people want the opportunity to be able to sue Big Pharma. And the Biden administration said, look, we don't want to cut it off at any particular point. And I think, when you look at what's gone on in the court so far, and again, we haven't had the immunity case,
right,
but the Biden administration's done okay, and which is sort of surprising to some people. Again, we don't have the immunity case, but the Biden administration folks are not disappointed in a lot of these rulings.
Yeah. And Jamie, we are waiting not only the immunity decision that pertains to the January 6th case, but this other January 6th case, which is also very important.
Right.
Yeah.
That one is a little more complicated. It has to do with sort of a very narrow definition of the law about obstruction. And it actually was brought by defendants in January 6th rioters. When you look at it, that particular charge was not brought across the board. It was brought for the most egregious, serious cases. So that is something we're waiting for. Obviously, because of that and because of the case against Trump, people are looking at that. Legal experts are arguing over whether that could also pertain to Trump's case. Some legal experts say maybe, very narrowly. Others say not at all. But again, we have to wait for the decision.
Right. Could potentially affect Trump, but we don't know.
Right. And both of those decisions obviously could push that January 6th case, that Jack Smith case, well past the election. And voters may not have the opportunity to hear the facts of that case before going to vote.
Well, I think at this point, given how close we are to the election, I think we have to assume that we're not going to hear these cases before the election. I think that would be the best bet. I mean, Jack Smith has been trying his darndest, and you know that from the case in Florida, for example, the document case, that the Alvin Bragg case in New York seems to be the only one that the voters have been able to see to fruition. And by the way, I think that is something that Joe Biden might mention this evening, the felonies, and just to kind of dig it into Trump. But I think these other cases, and it's upsetting to a lot of people when you look at the polling. A majority of the American public believes that these cases should have been tried before the election.